Hi guys, this is Anisha here. Today we are going to be talking about how do you crack your NMIMS calls. For people who are watching this video or having a session with me for the first time, I'll give you a quick background about me. So I'm Anisha here from NMIMS 2015 batch. Been mentoring all of you guys for your NMAT exams and your strategy, how to crack it up. Right now you are at the most crucial point of your career in terms of cracking the MBA college right away. So for people who have cleared the cutoffs or are expecting to clear the cutoffs for NMIMS, Mumbai, Bangalore, all campuses, it's a very important thing to make sure you crack the CDPI process. For two major reasons. One, it's an amazing college to be a part of. Second, it's a very difficult and a very competitive space you are right now in, because you have to make the cut out of 2,000 plus people who get a call. So it's, going to be really aggressive. So you have to make sure you are very well prepared for the same thing. Before we go ahead on how you prepare and what you should be doing, let's understand what is the aspects which are there in the NMIMS entire CDPI process for the campuses. Okay, so when you talk about the CDPI process, there are three important elements towards the same. Okay, first is going to be your statement of purpose, which has to be submitted before your interviews. So that is very important. That's a true reflection of who you are. Second, you're going to have a case discussion. Unlike other colleges where you have a group discussion, this is going to be a case discussion which is based on a case study. So it's completely different. Third is going to be a personal interview, which is not very stressful, but yes, you got to be very thorough with your basics. If you mess up, you can lose your call even at a score of 260. I'm not joking. One of my own batchmates have missed out on the call of NMIMS at a score of 260, which is, you can imagine how royally the interview was through. Okay, so all of this play a very important role. Make sure you don't mess up with any one of the process steps which is there. Okay, to understand what is the exact weightage, here is the components which are there. So first, you're done with your NMAT. Now, good thing is 70% weightage is to your NMAT scores. Then comes your case discussion, personal interview with 7.5% weightage each. 5% is for your work experience, achievements, extracurricular activities, whatever you've done extra on your profile, your internships, your volunteering experiences, your certification courses, all of this comes into this section. Okay, for people who are freshers, don't think you're going to lose out these 5% marks. There your profile is evaluated. So your competition is with a batch of freshers. It's not against the work-ex people. So always remember that difference. Okay. Last is your 10% weightage on your past academic records, which is your 10th, 12th and graduation. So for people who have not done well in your past academics and are at borderline case of NMAT, probably the cutoff is 210 or at a 210, it's not game over for you. You still can make it, crack through your CDPI. There are people who have got 210, 208, which was right the cutoff for NMIMS in the respective years and got the best placement on campus once being there. Be it any stream, be it marketing, finance, profile, you just got to make sure in the CDPI you prove it that you really deserve to be a part of NMIMS. Okay, so I hope the component structure is there in your head. Let's move further to understand each of these elements. Alright. So when you talk about the statement of purpose, that's not supposed to be something which you write out of the box in like 30 minutes and submit it. So make sure you give a due amount of time towards writing the same thing, because this is what your interview is going to be based on. This is something what they are going to evaluate before you come and sit for their interview process as well also. Okay. So make sure certain basic guidelines I'm sharing with you guys right now here is, it has to be a reflection of your qualities, your journey and achievements, not somebody else's. Make sure you understand and define really well why you wish to pursue an MBA and why do you intend to join NMIMS. And it has to be a very structured document. Okay, it cannot be beating around the bush or be an extensive essay where you've written a Mahabharata onto it. So that can't be there. All right. So it's very important. This is very well written. So for people who get onto the course, I'll be personally evaluating your SOPs. So ensure that, you submit it well before time so that we can evaluate, do iterations, revise, and then submit the final SOPs to NMIMS. Okay. So this is the first most important thing. The second important aspect comes is your case discussion. Now, it's a very different thing. What do you mean by case discussion is they are going to give you a case study. If you guys have noticed, the entire process of getting to NMIMS is different than what it is to an IIMS, right? Because they are evaluating you on a couple of aspects. One is your strategic thinking, which is why your exam is also very time management based, right? Second is your analytical skills. That's why you have, a lot of data interpretation, logical reasoning, and all of them given weightage into the exam as well. And the major reason is to have your case discussion. The advantage of this is it's okay even if you're not someone very well versed who's been reading newspaper all throughout the year, but has a good sense of understanding, can approach a case study in a very structured way, you will make the cut. Okay. So that is very, very important. So for people who have been thinking, I'm not an avid reader, what do I do right now? It's all right. You have 1 month at hand, make the best out of it by approaching the case discussions. But you should be approaching and preparing to do it in the way like an MBA grad would do it. Don't come with a fresh mindset. For people who have a structured MBA thought process in place in the case discussion, you are definitely through it. Alright, so that is very, very important. Make sure you get yourself that kind of mentoring and guidance. Definitely. Okay. Talking about what are the objectives being considered. The parameters which are evaluated in a case discussion. First is your group dynamics. Your ability to analyze a particular situation, because the case scenario could be any particular small instance as well also. Your thought process, your presentation style, and then your personality in terms of your leadership, your decision-making skills, your ability to manage people, understand what people are saying, all of that. So it's not about just communication skills or the knowledge base you have. So make sure you're evaluating and yourself and preparing with all of these things in mind. Okay. Just to give you guys an example, one of the topics would be something like, it's an HR situation that your worker has quit the job and they had to do overtime and night shifts. Now, as an HR department, what would you do to get them back? So, this is a situation. It's kind of a role play. Alright, so you're usually given 5 minutes to think, 15 minutes to discuss. There are 10 to 12 participants, 3 panelists, and it's definitely going to be a crazy fish market. So, you have to have your skills of working and your group dynamics sorted if you're approaching towards NMIMS and if you want to make sure you convert the same. Alright. So that's an idea about how this entire CDPI process works. Personal interview is going to be normal, not very stressful, based on your profile and your fitment for NMIMS, which is very important. So are you going to be able to compete against the 500 people in the batch and in future be placeable? Because at the end of the day, they want to look for people who would be well groomed and easily placed. Alright. So make sure you guys keep that in mind when you are preparing right for your CDPI. Why am I emphasizing on all of this so much is because that's primarily what any B school looks for. The advantage all the captain students have had is you name a college, the best placement is one of our captain students, be it NMIMS Mumbai, Bangalore, Navi Mumbai, or be it the IIMS Maika, SPGen. So you want to make sure you are getting one of those into the batch. You can sign up for the NMIMS Super 30 course as well also. I'll just give you guys a fair idea about the same. So where we are going to make sure to study the Harvard Business School approach, which is being ingrained in us, in terms of the entire MBA and the short time that I've spent over at Harvard Business School, how to approach these case studies, evaluating your personal SOP, that's your statement of purpose, taking mock interviews to know what kind of questions can be expected and how to please different types of panelists. You will be trained and mentored by people who are from IIMS, SPGen, JPIMS, all of them. And along with that, we will be working on building your concepts on not just the current affairs, but your fundamentals of marketing, finance, operations, something which is expected out of you when you sit for the interviews. So all of these aspects will be taken care of. All right. We will be having different courses are there. There's a basic, advanced, and a turbo course. For people who are in Mumbai, we'll be meeting more often, thrice in a week at Cat King and Lady, where we'll have these sessions and you all will personally interact with me. But for people who are not from Mumbai, do not have to worry because we have a completely online course where we'll be having telephonic interviews, case discussions, live webinar sessions, and students pan-India have been following the same and cracking and making it to NMIMS. So let's make sure if you really want to convert your NMIMS score, you get onto this course to make sure your CDPI call is converted. Okay. To get you guys convert these calls, the mentors you all will be having, one is Rahul sir. He's also an MBA from SPJ and an executive from Harvard Business School. A lot of people would have already interacted with him before. I'll be your mentor for the entire process of evaluating the SOPs to your mock interviews. We'll make sure we definitely convert it. In the past, if I talk about the records, we've 100 plus students in the past 3 years at NMIMS, and want to make sure that we have the same records and the highest records each and every year. Okay, so all the best, guys. Do well. Start focusing onto your SOPs before you sign up onto the course. You feel free to get in touch with me. That's my personal number. You all can drop me a WhatsApp. We'll sync up and make sure we set our SOPs, profiles into process even before the calls final are out. All right. All the best. Go ahead and crack it.